Hello everyone, this is the FPL trio. I am Pulkit, and as always, I am joined by my co-hosts Daniel and Michael. Michael, how's it going?
Yeah, going good so far. Almost the end of the week, so glad it's almost weekend, and first game was very, very soon. So there'll be a long, great weekend. How about you, Daniel?
Yes, going great. I just had 2 days FPL, excited, tinkering with our last drafts, and yeah, should be good. Full kit.
Yeah, going good as we are almost on our heads now. Just a day almost to go. So really excited. I'm not as close to my nail draft as I would have wanted to, but let's see how it goes. All right, so let's make a start with the midfielders in this FPL review series. So we basically have been doing a FPL player review series from different positions and different price ranges. So in this video, we basically continue from there. For the midfielders, we look at the stats. So this is the table which contains the stats. Since there is a lot of information, let me break it down for you. So the first two or three columns are quite self-explanatory with the name of the player, the club, the price, and then minutes and starts. For the player, the ownership data is from F team. So usually FPL team presents ownership of the top 1% managers, but since the season has not yet started, it's basically the overall ownership of the teams that have been registered on FPL.team. And then we have the FPL points per 90, actual and expected numbers, the goals and assists, both actual and expected numbers per 90 stats. Then bonus points, old and new. So old means that the bonus points they got in the last season, and the new is basically the bonus points they would have got with the new bonus point rules. Finally, some penalties stats. So basically, this shows which players are on penalties and how good they are at those. Then predictions for the 2024-2025 season from mainly from four different websites: Fantasy Football Fix, Fantasy Scout, Fantasy Hub, and FPL.team. And basically, what we have done here is we'll take in the median of those predictions and also uncertainty, which basically shows how much the different websites agree on those predictions or not. So the lower the uncertainty, the better for us, the higher the median value, also better for us. And finally, the fixtures based on difficulty and the color code, and also some other information, which is this XG per rank. So basically, how likely is my player going to concede in that particular game, or it's going to score in that particular game. So with that, let's begin. Here we have the midfielders who are priced higher than 6 million. So of course, they include the mid-priced as well as the premium midfielders, and they are basically sorted based on how good they are with respect to the different stats. So the number of times they made it to the top 10 of a particular stat. And it's of course no surprise that Palmer is making it the most times. But something that I was quite surprised was seeing Trossard on the second position. He actually has quite good stats. His minutes are a issue, but still he had 18 starts last season. I'm not sure how much he would play this season, but his stats do look really, really good. Maybe Daniel, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, Khoshav, as you said, when he plays, I think he's super explosive. He's electric, but the thing is, he doesn't start every game. As you see here, he started only 18 out of the possible 38. So unless he has he's nailed, I would say watch and see for me because yeah, a lot of players are returning from injury. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough rotation in the Arsenal midfield.
But his numbers are really
Oh
interesting.
yeah, yeah, they
Yes.
are. I mean,
When
he comes in. Whenever he comes in the sub, he scores. He gets an assist. He's always involved, because he's so electric. He has a lot of bursts. So he has great numbers. I mean, if someone wants to go for a differential pick, I'm sure he's not very highly owned. So you could go for it. But at this price range, I think you can get like more nailed on midfielders. Maybe not as exposed as him, but at least with the minutes. But if he does start getting consistent minutes, then for sure, go for him because I will definitely do that.
Like you guys said, he's explosive, but the minutes are an issue. Like I know with FPL you need to plan a lot, but Trossard just takes it over the line. You need to plan the fixtures correctly and combine it against other players. So I think the amount of planning to make his minutes and his points right is, I think, too much compared to, the Palmers, the Salahs, things like that. So yeah, I tend to agree that he's probably not the right one to choose.
Yeah, but if he can get the minutes, that he would probably be better than any of the premiums. On the top of this list, as expected, there are a lot of premiums like Palmer at 10.5 million, Salah, Son, and De Bruyne. But there are also some names that strike out. For example, Bailey has quite good stats from last season. He's just 6.5 million. If we look at his numbers, he has 0.43 goals per 90, 0.48 assists. So that's actually quite huge. Are you guys considering in your teams?
I did not know he had such good stats, honestly. But yeah, before now, I never considered him, but I guess now you just planted that seed in my head. So he might be someone I look into, but as of right now, I don't have him because I did not know he had such good stats. And now, again, as we said in the previous video, with Diaby gone, he could take on an even bigger role for Villa. It might be like his breakout season.
Yeah, same with me. I didn't have Bailey in my team, but with less than 2 days to go, or around 2 days left in picking the team, he might just sneak in. But again, there's going to be a lot of things in the next 2 days.
Yeah. And I think most of the people, so basically the aim for most of us is to cover as many price ranges as we can. And I think the popular one at 6.5 million is Nkunku, who a lot of us are going. Maybe people are trying to cover Palmer because he's quite expensive. And the hope is that Nkunku can deliver somewhat Palmer's kind of returns, if not same. But I think Bailey might be a better option at 6.5 million just because you don't have that much uncertainty as you have with Nkunku. And also, we have seen Chelsea in preseason. Not sure how they would be. Plus, the first fixture being Man City, which is basically the toughest as it can get. So I currently have Bailey in my team simply because of this reason that he's more nailed. He has that Premier League experience, the stats to back him up, the minutes, and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Nkunku, he's definitely the best pick, like, at 6.5. But with him, I think most people are picking him because he's nailed for that number 9 spot. So he'll get all those support from the Palmers, the Jacksons, the Dewsbury Hall. But I've been reading articles that Victor Osimhen, I hope I'm saying that correctly, he might be coming to Chelsea. So I think that's the news that we all need to watch out for. If he does come, Nkunku might be drifting out wide or just behind the striker. So that might lessen his goal scoring ability, especially when a mid gets a 5. So but if Osimhen doesn't come in, then it's definitely the best Chelsea player to get.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I got with Nkunku. It's just tough to say if she's gonna stay healthy. He's coming back from a long-term injury. And yeah, I see a lot of people are going for him. I personally have Palmer, but if I do end up going for a Haaland draft, which I currently don't have, then I might have to settle for Nkunku because of that huge price, 4 million difference between him and Palmer. But again, I think Palmer is still their talisman. Last season, when he was not playing, they were just not doing anything at all. He scores goals, he's unbanned, he gets the boxes out, and that's why he is at 10.5. So yeah, right now I'm a Palmer kind of guy, but I don't know if in the next 24 hours that perspective is gonna switch. What about you, Bukit? Do you agree with that, or are you more of an Kunku guy?
No, in the 6.5 million range, I am on Bailey.
Bailey.
Not with Palmer, it's not whether Nkunku or Palmer, it's more about whether Palmer or Son or Saka in that. So that's the discussion I'm having with Palmer. I'm not sure how much time he has played in the preseason. Is he already back in the training and did he play some minutes?
Yeah, I don't
I
think he
think
played any minutes. No, right, Michael?
he might have played a few minutes, but I may be wrong. That
Maybe.
might be another player, but I don't think he's playing the first game, Palmer, is he?
I don't know anything about this, so I'm not sure. But if that's right, then I need to make some team adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is another player but I want to talk about. I don't see him on this list here, and I think I know why. Is Anthony Gordon?
Yeah.
He And the reason is because, yeah, he is right down there. It's because, I mean, I think we all know that he only performs at home. I don't know, he has maybe some kind of away curse. But if I'm not mistaken, he returned in every single home game he played in last year, maybe except for like a couple. And then same thing for the away games. He blacked in every single one except the couple as well. So he is in my team right now. And I'm going to be targeting his home games for sure. Are you guys considering him, Michael?
Yeah, he's definitely nailed into my squad. He's been in my draft since the main reason why I'm getting him and Newcastle players is they don't have any European games this season. So Gordon, I know, had a few injuries like later in the season. He's probably not going to get that now because there's no fixture congestions won't affect the fixtures too much. So I think he's pretty much nailed for most of the season if he can get those away games under his belt, get that 5, 6 points, then I can't see myself selling. How about you, Wilkin? What do you think?
Yeah, Gordon is definitely a good option, and I really like Newcastle. Most probably, I'll triple up on them. Isaac, Gordon, and maybe Burn is like popular option. Gordon, he basically scores almost every time at home. If I remember it correctly, he had something like 18 returns at home, only blanking twice, and maybe just 5 returns or something away. So it's like a huge difference. But of course, if we can rotate him, as Daniel mentioned, keep him in home games and bench him in the away games, it could be actually quite a good option. And he's priced quite well based on the kind of output he delivers. If I look at his numbers, he basically returned like 0.84 actual goals plus assists per 90. So that's almost close to the premiums. Foden also has somewhere around that number, 0.85. So he's in the range of the premiums, but he's priced 7.5. So definitely quite a good option.
Yeah.
And it seems that we're not really talking much about having Saka in the teams. Have you guys thought about having him at all?
I do have Saka at the moment in my team. I don't have Palmer. I have Saka. So as I mentioned, for me, the debate is about Saka, Palmer, or Son. And currently I have Saka among them.
Yeah, I don't have Saka on my team, even though I love the guy, but I just think that Palmer might be a better option in terms of, you know, everything going through him. I feel like Arsenal, they have a lot of people who can facilitate things, Havertz, Saka, Martinelli, even Gabriel Jesus when he comes on. But again, I might, because right now I don't have any Arsenal coverage, and it's a bit weird since I support them. So I might have to do some changes before the season starts in 2 days. A new Michael D on Saka?
No, I don't own him for now, but I might have him, later down the draft, maybe past game week 5 or 6 when Arsenal have those easier fixtures. But at the moment, yeah, I'm not looking at Saka or any of the Arsenal players for now.
Yeah, because I just feel I'm looking at their fixtures now. They face game week 2 Villa away, and then Spurs away in 4, and then Man City away in 5. So that's, I mean, they're still gonna score, but then that's a tough small run. And then they face Leicester at home, Southampton at home, Bournemouth away in 3 consecutive game weeks. So that's a good, I would say, like short period to target those Arsenal players.
Yeah, and then I can see from like game week 12 when they were starting in Forest up until like game week 23, they all have fixtures of FDR ratings of 2 or 3. So I can see a lot of people wild carding probably around that stage, bring in the Arsenal, Gabriel, Saka, Havertz around that time frame. So we'll see how it goes then.
The reason I have Saka in my team is basically when we see his numbers, he's definitely delivered good numbers. But also, if we look at his home and away records, they are pretty consistent. At least last season, he basically almost had similar returns, home or away. Even against bottom 6 or top 8, I think FPL Black Box showed these stats quite a bit. It doesn't seem to affect Saka too much. And also the fixtures that Daniel mentioned, if we look at like Wolves is definitely a good fixture. Probably he's also a good captaincy shout. Then maybe Spurs in there is also, in my opinion, quite a good fiction. Arsenal Spurs is derby, so it could be a high scoring game, and I can see Saka deliver. The only reason that I have Saka at the moment is that with Palmer, so the competition I had in my mind is Palmer and Son. With Palmer, I'm just not sure about his minute in the first few games, which is why I'm not there. But otherwise, I really like Palmer. His numbers speak for themselves. They are higher than almost everyone. And with Son, it's basically I'm hoping I can cover Son with Solanke now there and Pedro Porro, who I have in my team. So that's the hope that I can already cover Son. But Arsenal attack is something that I wanted to cover, and I thought Saka is probably the best one. Also on penalties, so that's the rationale.
Yeah, unless he decides to be nice and give them to like Odegaard. But yeah, he should be on Paris. Yeah.
Then maybe other interesting option is Thiago Jota from Liverpool at 7.5 million. Great numbers. The only problem that has been with him is basically minute. But if he can get the starts and basically if he plays regularly, I think till the time he is fit enough, he could return us quite a bit. Michael, are you considering owning Jota in your team?
I mean, if he can secure that number 9 spot, then I would be interested in him. So maybe like I'll watch the Liverpool games, the first 3. If he's nailed, then maybe game week 4 or 5, I might do a big move of trading out Salah to the Jota, because I can see that Jota is more in the middle and score those goals. But at the moment, he's probably in my watch and see to see if he's nailed, because Liverpool attackers, they have Diaz, Nunez. Yeah, they have a lot, and Harvey Elliott plays in the back there. So yeah, there's a lot of rotation going around for Liverpool. Anyone that would be considering Heechan from Wolves now that Neto is gone and he's probably going to be the main playmaker?
Yeah, I had them for a big chunk of last season actually, and I loved having a differential. But so far this season, I haven't really thought about him. Like he's not been any of my drafts, but I'm hoping I really like the guy, so I'm hoping he does end up sneaking in at some point this season. But as of right now, he's not really in my plans. What about you guys? Okay, do you have him?
No, I mean, yes, at some point maybe, but at the moment, I don't think I'll start with him simply because I like to see how Wolves turn up this season. I remember when we looked at those XG rank stats, Wolves had quite a low rank in terms of the goal scoring and so on. So it's probably a wait and watch for me to see how not just Huang, but how Wolves are actually playing. And also there are so many options at 6.5. So probably that's one reason.
Yeah, makes sense.